Hello, hello everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another Sacred Union Energy Update. Tonight's energy update is going to be a quick one. I just want to do a quick check-in, but I also want to relay some new kind of understanding that I've kind of gleaned about the journey here. Just a quick understanding. And it's understanding that we've already known, but I feel like it's able to be articulated a little bit better. At least it made sense for where I'm at on the journey, and it made sense for what I feel like is happening within the collective. So before I get to that, just a couple of announcements. Because I'm in the middle of selling my house and moving and all that good stuff, a lot of life events, I am taking a break from personal readings for the month of May with exceptions. The exceptions are I will continue to do angel aura energy healing, personal light language transmissions, sacred love readings, and sacred soul readings. I do ask that you guys have patience with me, especially this week, because I am, again, in the middle of some major transitions for myself and very, very busy. I'm also very much feeling the eclipse energy. I've been very good emotionally, but holy cow, my physical body has taken its toll. And I think a lot of that has to do with just the amount of stress that these life events have taken. I'm really needing to focus this month on a lot of self-care, making sure that my body is healthy, especially considering where I've been with illness in the past. My health is of the utmost priority right now. So, that being said, I'm taking a little bit of a step back. This might be the only collective reading except for some written channelings that you'll find on the community tab here on YouTube. You might find it on Instagram or Facebook where I cross post. Except for those written channelings, this might be the only collective reading that I do this week. Just because I have other things that are a priority right now, and I am really focused on my self-care. So, thank you guys for your patience. Thank you guys for your continued support, continued community. I really appreciate it. We will be back next week with some more readings. I have the Patreon channeling for May that is up. Interesting stuff coming in for May. We also channel some Lionsgate energy and why the Lionsgate is pretty important to us, and we'll dive deeper into that with some sacred channelings over the next couple of weeks, over the next couple of months. So we are going to continue. I'm just kind of pulling back, especially just for this week as I get a handle on things. So thank you guys for your patience and your support. Okay, so here's what happened. I took my dog for a walk to the park. We went to get some ice cream. Yes, I give my dogs some ice cream sometimes as a treat, and she loves it. And as I'm driving back, I am listening to Joni Mitchell's Both Sides Now. It's a song that is dear to my heart because one of my favorite teachers in high school was a big Joni Mitchell fan, and she and I got along great. She was a mentor for me, really somebody that I looked up to. Taught me a lot about myself, taught me a lot about the world. And so she was a big Joni Mitchell fan, and she actually ended up giving me two Joni Mitchell CDs when I was graduating from high school. Long, long time ago. I'm not even going to date myself. It was a long time ago. Let's just say this is not my first reunion coming up. So, Joni Mitchell, Both Sides Now, it's been in my awareness for a very long time. Been, meant something to me for a very long time. And I'm listening to this song, listening to a cover actually, and it's the lyrics, I've looked at life from both sides now. And it goes, I've looked at love from both sides now as well. It's love's illusions I recall. I really don't know love at all. And I'm thinking about the journey. I'm thinking about the divine masculine. I'm thinking about the divine feminine. And I'm thinking about my own experience in the current moment where there feels like there's been this ending. There feels like there's been this beginning. Last week it very much felt like I went out with my divine masculine, and it very much felt like it did at the beginning of our journey. It felt like a complete reset. It felt like that moment when I turned around and I saw him. He and I have known each other for a very long time. We've known each other since we were 10 years old. But we were basically in and out of each other's lives until we were activated to Ascension in 2017. The moment when I turned around the diner and I saw him and I looked in his eyes, and everything was activated. It felt like home. And the whole night it felt like we were in a sacred bubble. And I went home thinking, oh my God, something big is happening here. And prior to that, almost like 2 months prior to that, I had been receiving so many, like what I now know as downloads of singing The Little Mermaid, something starting right now. And I didn't know why that was coming into my vicinity, but I was singing it. And that's what it felt like. It felt like something was starting. Well, last week I felt that energy again. It felt like something big was happening again. And it felt like a reset. Now, over the past couple of days, that's kind of waned a little bit. It's felt like old energy from me, from him. And more so, it's me saying, you know what, I'm not going to engage in old energy, in old behaviors, in old patterns. I'm just not doing it. I am not going to go back. I am not going to abandon myself. I am looking forward, and I am excited to look forward. Now, if you're experiencing this too, divine feminines have been, especially in the month of April, kind of wavering. And when I say wavering, I mean it's felt like a destabilizing energy where she's been doubting herself. She's been doubting her journey. She's been wondering, what the hell is this all adding up to? Where is this all leading? She's really been blind to a lot because she's needed to really focus on herself, focus on her path, focus on where she's heading, and focus on her own intuition and what she is feeling inside of herself rather than any of the 3D crap, rather than any of the illusion. The 3D, the physical experience, is real in a sense. It is what we are experiencing as human beings. We cannot ignore the 3D experience. But we also have to realize that we create that 3D experience, that there is so much more, and that we have to look at it from the higher perspective, that there is more than what we are just seeing. That's what the illusion is. The illusion is the veil. There's so much more that happens beyond the veil. So if you're just looking at an experience as just, let me give you this example because this is what they're giving it to me. I'll give you my own anecdote. So, for example, I've decided to sell my house. It's been a process, a very long process, but it's picking up, and I am selling my house and moving forward. Now, if you're looking at it from the old paradigm, from a very 3D perspective, it is selling the house, period. It's a financial transaction, it's a change, it's a move, it is a just very 3D grounded stuff, right? However, if you look at it from the soul's perspective, it is a moving forward. It is a time of closure. That house for me was a house that I acquired right around the time that I was getting very deathly sick. I have had chronic illness, chronic Lyme disease for a very long time. I was finally diagnosed after 20 years of misdiagnosis in 2012. And as we know, 2012 is a time of spiritual awakening. So Lyme disease was truly my catalyst for spiritual awakening. I had been going through periods of awakening prior to that. Someday, if you guys are interested, I'll share my whole story. But prior to that, I've been going through awakenings. Lyme disease was the big push. Lyme disease was my dark night of the soul. Then, as I was healing from that, a lot of self-love, a lot of surrender, a lot of healing and self-acceptance. That's when I was activated to ascension by reuniting with my divine masculine, or who I now know as my divine masculine, my twin flame, my sacred partner. Now, ascension, as I always say, is a whole new ballgame. It is a whole new ballgame. It is something completely different from awakening. It is like awakening on the fast track. That's what ascension truly is. When you're going through the process of ascension, you look at things from a higher perspective, from the soul's perspective. That experiences don't just happen. There's a purpose. Nothing is coincidence. There is divine order, even when it looks like chaos. So, for the example of selling my home, that house was my house of healing. It was my sanctuary. It was my haven. It was where I felt safest, and it was where I was able to maintain some semblance of independence, even among an illness where I couldn't be independent, where I had a really hard time even taking care of myself and basic functions, basic mobility. I was unable to walk, unable to talk, unable to have any most cognitive function, I should say. It was a struggle. And that house was my place where I felt home. Home Not just the home that I created in the physical experience, but home within the heart space. And so, with the decision to sell my house, it was not something that I went into lightly. It was something that I was not ready for, but that I knew was coming. And when it came, I knew it was the right decision. I could feel it in every cell in my being because I knew that I was ready for a change. I knew that that house belonged to an old version of me. And I had shifted into a new frequency, into a new consciousness, into a new version. And what I had manifested, that house and everything, that my magical street, my magical, beautiful neighbors, that beautiful town that I lived in, everything that I had manifested in that old energy had come to fruition, but it was still that old energy. And now I'm in a new energy manifesting something new, manifesting new beginning. And so I can't hold on to the old. And so the old paradigm would say, well, it's just a financial transaction. It's just a move. It's just, you're going to a different house. You're going to a different town, or I have no idea where I'm ending up. So anything's open right now. But the soul's perspective says you're in new energy, and that house no longer fits the vibration of your new energy. When I think of the house, I think of, gosh, how do I explain this? It's a consciousness in and of itself. And it helped me heal, it kept me safe, it kept me happy. But it's not meant for me anymore. It's meant for somebody else. There is another family that's going to be moving in there. Don't know who that is yet, but it's meant for somebody else. It served its purpose, is what I'm trying to say. It served its purpose in the old energy. And you can apply that to anything. A career is not just a career move. It's not just more money or a better parking spot or a better position or a managerial spot or whatever this is, or a new business, or it's not just anything. Nothing in our life experience is just anything. There's always a bigger purpose. There's always a divine purpose. There is always a soul purpose, because this is our evolution. Evolution is not just about DNA and physical structure, physical cellular changes. It's about soul growth. It's about expansion of the soul. It's about the essence of who we are growing and expanding and changing, and we have to allow it. We have to allow, because that is the point of life. And so we can't deny our human experiences, but we have to understand that there is more going on. There's purpose, divine reason beyond that. We have to look at both sides. And so, as I'm driving, I'm listening to this song and I'm thinking about all of this. And I'm thinking about my divine counterpart, where things seem to be back and forth a little bit. Not runner chaser back and forth, but just, I don't know quite what I want anymore. Because I know that I don't want the old energy that we were in. It served its purpose. That was the wounded me attracted to the wounded him, or the wounded him attracted to the wounded me, and vice versa. Where we helped each other to grow and expand. And we still have the opportunity to help each other grow and expand. But there's also some old energy that is getting in there. And I'm thinking about this, and I'm thinking about this, and I'm like, this is not what I want. I want the reset. I want the beautiful moment that occurred last week between us, where I just felt so grateful for the moment, and I didn't have any expectation, didn't have any, where is this going to go? Where is this going to lead? How is he really feeling? Because I already know how he's feeling. But I also want that intention. I also want that directness. I also want that stability. I also want that clarity, consistency, that presence of the divine masculine in my life. And so I'm thinking about this and thinking about this and thinking about this, just mindlessly, almost meditatively, as I'm driving and listening to this song. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I understand something now. Wherein the divine masculine we as divine feminines are asking the divine masculines to step forward. Just be brave, be courageous, and open your heart, right? As divine feminines, we feel like we've been doing that. But it's two sides to the same coin. It's two sides to the same coin, two parts of the same whole. If you're in a twin flame relationship, especially, then you're experiencing the same thing but from different angles. For example, if you're experiencing the abandonment wound, it's the same core wound, but you're experiencing from different ways. One might be experiencing abandonment, one might be experiencing rejection. It's the same, you experience the same things, but you come at it from different polarities, from the masculine perspective or from the feminine perspective, from different polarities. And it's the same thing with these counterparts, with the way that we approach the journey. So as I was looking at this, as I was thinking about this, I was thinking about divine feminines. We've really been required to let go on this journey. That has been our biggest lesson, our biggest challenge. Divine masculine, on the other hand, their biggest challenge has been coming forward. And look at that. Look at that. We call it a runner-chaser dynamic, but really it's the same energy. Maybe the divine feminine has to let go completely in order to reach her own place of stability, security, understanding of herself, wholeness within herself. And maybe that is where the divine masculine gets the courage to stop resisting the love that they truly feel within themselves that allows them to step up and step forward. It's not so much a grand revelation as it is a new understanding or a new way to articulate the understanding of the way the dynamic has played out. Because as divine feminines especially, we have been just, why can't you just open your heart to love? For me especially, I'm someone who, especially going through what I went through with illness, doesn't want to waste a second of her life. Doesn't want to hold back in love in any way. And so I tell the world, I love it. I tell my friends, I love them. I tell my family, I love them. Because I don't want love to be wasted. And Spirit's reminding me now that love can never be wasted. But still, I don't want to go a moment thinking that any precious time can be lost. And I know time is an illusion. I know that time is a man-made construct. But in this lifetime, as Susan, I don't want to miss a moment. I don't want to miss a single thing. That has been my energy my whole life, where I want to just feel everything. Because when I was sick with Lyme disease, I learned what it was to not feel anything. And I'd rather feel everything 1,000 times over than not feel anything again. I want to taste everything and feel everything and see everything. Because I want to live. I want life. I choose life. And life is love. It has taken me a long time to heal from the trauma of my illness. If you guys want to hear my story or learn my story, I wrote a book called The Last Letter. It is a novel. It's a fictionalized version of the events of my experience. You guys can feel free to check it out. It's available everywhere. There's a link to my books in the description box there on Amazon. I share that simply because I'm realizing now how much that experience changed me. And when I'm looking at what the divine masculines have collectively gone through, their own experiences, I'm seeing how those experiences are changing them. And so as divine feminines, maybe we need to allow ourselves to be in that place of just pure love and pure joy and pure unconditional energy. Just loving the journey, loving our lives, and knowing that there is somebody who loves us so much too. It's been a challenge for the divine feminines because she's had to believe her intuition versus her seeing in the 3D experience. Because what she's seen in the 3D experience are words that don't meet actions, or actions that don't meet words. But that has led her to just more understanding of herself, more embodiment of herself, more experiences of who she truly is. I have, oh my God, so much gratitude for my divine masculine. And that's where I was last week. And that's where I am always. No matter what, it's just pure gratitude for the journey that I've been on. Just pure gratitude for this journey. Because I wouldn't be who I am without it. I wouldn't have gotten this far in who I am without it. And so for those of us who want our divine masculines to step up, I think it's just about us really stepping up in our own lives. And maybe I can't speak for the divine masculine. I know I do when I'm doing these readings, but you know, I'm in a little bit of a state of, I don't want to say confusion, because I'm not confused. It's just, I don't know where the divine masculine is. And I don't think I'm meant to. I don't think we're meant to. I think we're meant to just keep stepping up in our own lives and loving our journeys and just being grateful for every single moment and not looking too far ahead. Being present with ourselves, being present with our joy, being present with our creations. Because it's all coming in for us now. It is all coming in for us now. And Spirit's reminding me that that's what a miracle is. It's just an occurrence that you didn't think was possible. It's just magic that you didn't fully believe in. That's all a miracle is. Miracles occur every single moment, every single day. And that's what's happening for us. That's what we're creating in this higher consciousness, in this new frequency, in this higher energetic signature. We just had to let go of everything that we thought, who we thought we were, and be brave enough to do that. And that's the counter. Where divine masculines, we're asking them or knowing that they have to be brave enough to step up in their lives and step up in communication and step up in themselves to come forward to us, to be brave enough and courageous enough to come forward towards the divine feminine. Divine feminines have had to be brave enough to allow the letting go. This whole journey has been about us being brave enough to let go. And that's where our understanding of what true unconditional love is. Can you love another person no matter where you are on your journey, no matter where they are in the world? Can you love them and feel grateful for them? Can your heart be open in just love, without expectation, without need? Can you just be love? And the answer is yes, divine feminines. Yes. That's what we've discovered we are. Divine Masculines, they're discovering that in their own way, in their own process. Doesn't look like our process. It looks a little bit different, but they're discovering that too. This is the higher paradigm of love. This is divine love. It is an allowance of the sacred, an embracing of the sacred. It is just simply to be love. And when you embody that, then you welcome in that in a partnership, that in a relationship. Because your desires are not unfounded. You have your desires for a purpose. You just have to see both sides. All right, so this was a bit of a personal share. I am going to end it here. We're not going to pull cards today. I will try to come back later this week for a mini reading to see where the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine are within the collective. But this feels like this is what was meant to be channeled and shared tonight. So I thank you guys for your patience. I thank you guys for your community, for your support, and for your love. And for allowing me this sacred space to share myself. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon.